What if there was a place on our planet where the laws of physics seem to bend? A place where ships vanish without a trace, a place where planes disappear. This is not a story from a distant galaxy, it is a mystery right here on Earth. For decades, sailors have spoken in hushed tones, pilots have too. They call it the Devil's Triangle. Here, compasses spin wildly, radios fall silent. Sometimes the world outside simply disappears. It has swallowed hundreds of vessels, it has claimed thousands of souls. So, where is this infamous stretch of water? If you look on an official map, you will not find it. The Bermuda Triangle is not a recognized geographical name, it is a name born from myth and media. But its boundaries are generally agreed upon. Imagine a vast triangle on the Atlantic Ocean. Bermuda, Miami, San Juan, more than 500,000 square miles of ocean. It is a place of beautiful, calm seas, but also of sudden, violent storms. This region is one of the most heavily trafficked parts of the world. Cruise ships, cargo vessels, private yachts. Above, the sky is a highway for commercial airplanes. This sheer volume of traffic is important. Some say the number of disappearances is not unusual at all, given how many travel through it. Perhaps the most famous story of the Bermuda Triangle is that of Flight 19. On a clear December afternoon in 1945, 5 U.S. Navy Avenger torpedo bombers took off from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The commander, Lieutenant Charles Taylor, was an experienced pilot. But soon after they began their exercise, something went terribly wrong. Radio transmissions revealed that the pilots were lost and confused. Taylor was heard saying, "Everything is wrong, strange. We can't be sure of any direction. Even the ocean doesn't look as it should." They were lost, flying blindly over an ocean that had suddenly become alien to them. As the afternoon wore on, their radio calls grew fainter and more desperate. They were running out of fuel. The control tower tried to guide them back, but the pilots seemed utterly disoriented. They could not figure out if they were over the Florida Keys or the Bahamas. The last transmission was garbled and faint. Then there was only silence. All 5 planes and the 14 men aboard them had vanished. The mystery deepened when a Martin Mariner flying boat, a massive search and rescue plane with a crew of 13, was sent to find them. It too disappeared from radar without a trace. In a single day, 6 aircraft and 27 men were gone. Long before Flight 19, there was the tale of the USS Cyclops. This was a colossal Navy collier ship, over 540 feet long, tasked with carrying thousands of tons of manganese ore. In March of 1918, the Cyclops set sail from Barbados, bound for Baltimore. It simply vanished somewhere in the triangle. When faced with a mystery as deep as the Bermuda Triangle, the human mind races to find explanations. We search for patterns, for causes, for anything that can make sense of the nonsensical. One popular scientific theory involves huge pockets of methane gas trapped beneath the seabed. Scientists know these deposits exist. An eruption could release a massive bubble that lowers water density. A ship over the spot could instantly lose buoyancy and sink. If the gas rose into the air, a plane's engine could ignite it, causing an explosion. Or the cloud could displace oxygen, stalling engines. This is a compelling idea. It is based on real geology. But there's no direct evidence tying a specific disappearance to a methane eruption. Another set of theories points to unique environmental conditions. Here, compasses can point to true north instead of magnetic north. This is called isogenic variation. The Gulf Stream can spawn microclimates and sudden storms. Rogue waves, massive walls of water appearing without warning, can swallow a ship whole. A small plane could be torn apart by violent updrafts and downdrafts. Then we enter the realm of the extraordinary. They point to strange radio transmissions, reports of spinning compasses, and the eerie feeling that nature's rules are suspended. This brings up aliens and UFOs. Some believe the triangle is a hotspot for extraterrestrial activity. They think visitors come to collect specimens, human and mechanical. Could missing ships and planes have been taken by beings not of this earth? This idea, popular in fiction, lacks physical proof, but it taps our deep-seated wonder about our place in the universe. Within the larger mystery of the Bermuda Triangle lies another, more ghostly legend. It is the story of a vanishing island. An island that appears on maps for centuries is sought by explorers, and then, as if it never existed, disappears completely. For hundreds of years, maps of the Atlantic often included an island named Fonseca, sometimes called St. Matthew. Sailors and explorers claim to have seen it, a distant smudge on the horizon. The island appeared on official nautical charts used by the greatest naval powers of the day. Expeditions were even launched to find and claim this mysterious piece of land, but they always came back empty-handed. The most likely explanation is that it was never there to begin with. In the early days of cartography, mapping the oceans was an incredibly difficult and imprecise science. A navigator might miscalculate their position by hundreds of miles. They might see a cloud bank on the horizon and mistake it for land, or they might see a floating mass of sargassum weed and think it was the shore of an island. Once an error like this made its way onto one influential map, it was often copied by other mapmakers for generations, creating a phantom island that existed only in ink. Yet, the legend of the Vanishing Island became woven into the fabric of the Bermuda Triangle's mystery. The story of the Phantom Island serves as a powerful metaphor for the triangle itself. As the legend of the Bermuda Triangle grew, scientists, investigators, and skeptics set out to find rational explanations. They began to look past the sensational headlines and dig into the facts of each case. What they found was often far less mysterious than the stories suggested. Many reported ships and planes were actually lost far outside the triangle's accepted boundaries. Others were lost during intense, well-documented hurricanes. Take the case of Flight 19. The dramatic story of experienced pilots vanishing on a clear day is not entirely accurate. Charles Taylor was experienced but new to the area and had a history of getting lost. The other pilots were students. Weather reports show seas roughening and skies darkening. He mistook the Bahamas for the Florida Keys, led his squadron far out into the open sea. They ran out of fuel and crashed into violent waves. The Martin Mariner rescue plane was prone to explosions and likely exploded in mid-air. USS Cyclops was carrying heavy manganese ore which can shift and capsize a ship. It sailed without a radio to avoid wartime detection. Other derelicts likely suffered piracy or mutiny. Careful research points to not a supernatural force but to human error, mechanical failure, and the raw, unforgiving power of the ocean. The United States Coast Guard does not recognize the Bermuda Triangle. They say incident rates are no greater here than in other busy ocean areas. If science has an explanation for so many of the disappearances, why does the legend of the Bermuda Triangle persist? Why, in our modern world of satellites and GPS, are we still so fascinated by this patch of ocean? The answer may lie not in the sea itself, but deep within our own nature. We are creatures of story. We are drawn to the unknown. A simple story of a plane crash due to bad weather is a tragedy. But a story of a plane that vanishes into a strange fog, its compasses spinning wildly, is a mystery. And mysteries ignite our imagination. The Bermuda Triangle is a perfect storm of name, location, and chilling tales. It is a modern myth, a piece of folklore for the technological age. It reminds us that for all our advancements, the world is still a big and sometimes scary place. It represents the idea that there are still frontiers of knowledge, still puzzles we have not solved. This is an exciting and humbling thought. Ultimately, the Bermuda Triangle endures because it speaks to the explorer in all of us. What lies beyond the edge of our understanding? As long as there are dark, deep places on our planet, and as long as the human spirit is curious, we will continue to tell stories about them. And perhaps one day, the ocean will give up its secrets. Until then, the legend of the Bermuda Triangle will live on.